Hi guys, good morning. Welcome to another episode of Clangin Bangin with Mikey, episode 57. And yeah, man, I'm in a good mood. I'm like, yo, I'm never not in a bad mood. When you really think about it. Anyway, man, yesterday was Martin Luther King's birthday. So I just took some time and reflected off of that, and I thought about all the shit that people who look like me, went through. Uh, in the during slavery, after the emancipation, during the 1900s and going forward, man, all the shit that that they went through physically, verbally, emotionally, psychologically, and the shit that we still go through today. But yeah, man, today we're gonna talk about uh giving up on people and letting them up. One of my good friends, oh, person I consider one of my good friends, we talk pretty much every day. And he said that I'm like, say that again. And he's like, what? He's like, because we was FaceTiming, and I said, yo, just say what you said again, because I need to hear it again to have it click. And he's like, I bet. He's like, sometimes you gotta give up on people and let give up on them and give them up. And I was like, you mean like religiously? He's like, yeah. He's like, it's because he's religious, and whatnot. And so what he meant by that is like, yo, sometimes when you got to give up on somebody and give them up, meaning it's like you have to let the big guy upstairs worry about their problems. Like you can't fix somebody who doesn't want to be fixed, or you can't help somebody who doesn't want your help, or like the old saying goes, it's like you can say the same shit, 50 times, and like the person is not gonna hear it, but they hear it from somebody else the 51st time, and boom, it clicks. But by then it's too late. Um, yeah, man, and I think like we talk about a whole range of topics, dog. It's like that's my dude, and like we big on self accountability, dog. Is like and the only regret I don't have any regrets, but the only I don't. I know. Let me rewind on that. I don't have many regrets. The only regret that I wish I knew sooner was just take self accountability for my actions. Stop blaming other people. For everything that went wrong in my life. Because it's like at the end of the day, my emotions are her 100% my responsibility. And as I've gotten older, I've definitely gotten better with that. I've definitely matured in that way. Um, One of my best friends recently told me like, yo, uh, we was talking in the DMs, and she said something, and I didn't get it, and and then she goes, and I was like, oh, okay, like whatever. And then she goes, well, I was trying to be funny, and then I responded with, well, you failed horrendously. And like the thing about it is like I was fucking around with her. I wasn't going out ahead or anything like that. It's like, but in the midst of a text message or a DM, I should say, like she took it that way because it's like, yo, he's being a fucking prick. And I'm not gonna say that I wasn't, because when you read the context of the DM, it's like there's no laughing emoji, there's no indication that I was fucking around when I was fucking around. And I remember she told me like, yo, it's like I sense hostility or something, and it makes me not want to talk to you. I was like, damn, okay. And then this is like 7:45, 8 o'clock at night. And so she sends me another DM like, oh, okay, like like now you signing, okay, have a good night. I'm like, and that means like, yo, it's like that's her way of telling me, it's like, hey, big head, because y'all know I got a big ass head. That's her way of telling me like, yo, you better come talk to me. Stop ignoring me and talk to me. And yeah, man, it's like that's one thing I gotta get better at, man. Because it's like I'm the type of dude, like I'll say shit and like I'll joke around, but I'll say it in such a straight face, with and and everything too. And it's like people don't they can't really read me. They don't know if I'm fucking around with them or not. And like 95% of the time, I am. It's like I'm the type of dude. Like if I'm not talking to you, that means I don't fucking like you. And there's very few people that I don't generally like. But yeah, man. Getting back to my partner. We talked about self accountability. We talked about how your actions or your inactions can influence you in so many different ways. And so there's that, man. And to be honest with you, at the end of the day, dog, it's like I think a lot of people, man, when they a lot of people don't want to take accountability for what they do. Uh, whether it's a job, whether it's your girl, whether it's your boy, whether your husband, wife, or whatever label you want to put on, right? A lot of motherfuckers don't want to take accountability for what they do and don't do. No, matter of fact, no. Like I wouldn't even say what they do because it's like when a motherfucker does something like like we all know niggas that be like, yeah, well, I did this, I did this. I'm like, okay, yo, what didn't you do? And it's like everybody wants to take accountability for when shit is good, but when shit gets bad, when shit gets hairy, when shit gets frosty, and shit does get frosty, everybody doesn't want to do all that. Everybody doesn't want to. They don't want to take their part. And as I get older, and I'm only 33, man, so it's like, oh man, I think for me, dog, it's like as I get older, man, it makes sense what I'm about to say too. My pops told me when I was 19, and I spoke about this on other pods, on other episodes as well. He told me when I was 19, and I was fucking up. And I mean, it's like, I wasn't flunking out of school or anything like that, but I was just out there thinking I was grown, thinking I could do whatever the fuck I wanted to do, and the nigga was still living at the crib. and he sat me down, and it was like a 2 hour conversation, and it's like, you know, the gist of it was like, yo, he's like, what I'm about to tell you is like, I want you to really listen to me and give me your response after that. And he said, there's two types of people in the world, man. Those who grow older and don't, with wisdom, and those who just grow older. And he looked at me. He's like, yo, like, I want you to explain to me in your words what that means. And I said, well, those who grow older with wisdom, they learn from not only their mistakes, but they learn from other people around them. And those who grow older, make the same mistake over and over and over again. He's like, that's exactly what I wanted you to think, what I wanted you to say. And dog, that was like, well, I'll be 34, so I was like almost 15 years ago. Yeah. That was 15 years ago, man. It's like, man, it's crazy because it's like, I look back on that now and it's like, yo, I'm taking those lessons that he taught me, the good, the bad, the ugly, because every single lesson I was taught up until age 23, there's a positive in that, man. And it's like, and it's like, I think if you can take a positive from any situation, you'll be okay. And because you'll know that, what you did was the right thing. And it's like, and I'm always the type too to never, I'm never afraid to have those difficult conversations. I'm never gonna shy away from having a difficult conversation, or just saying what's on my heart, what's in my head. Like I've never understood people who just go along to get along, And I get in certain situations, yeah, you got to do that to, to survive the pack. you know. But a lot of the times, man, it's like you don't want to be that dude or that, you know, or that person who just grows older and makes the same mistakes over and over and over again. And it's like, yo, it's like you gotta you gotta take your emotions out of it, you know. And that's one thing me and my partner was talking about last night. And we said like, yeah, you know, now that the clarity in both our situations is here, you know, like we realized what, you know, what we was doing the whole entire time, and like, but we just don't want to recognize it, and that's the difference, you know. Regardless of the money you spent or the time you spent, man, it's like sometimes it's like I told my partner last night, it's like, bro, you gotta love people from afar. Like, you may not agree with what they doing, you may not agree with who they kicking it with or who they dating or whatever it is, or who they talking to, you know. But yo, you gotta love. You have to love them from afar, because what what they do has no effect on you. You know, a person is only a distraction if you let them become a distraction. And so there's that. You know, and when I say distractions, I mean anything that involves your personal life, your professional life, anything that gets away with your goals. If they're not adding to it, then what are they doing? If they're not holding you accountable, then what are they doing? You know, if they're not challenging you to level up and get better, then what are they doing? And it's like, yeah, people may be fun to kick you with this and this and that, but at the end of the day, man, it's like I said, if they're not adding any value, positive value to your life, then what are they doing? It's like I got people's numbers in my phones that I hardly ever talk to. It's like, you know, and like if they hit me up, cool. If I, you know, but I never reach out to them. You know, I don't I don't make it a point to make initial contact, you know, but at the same time it's like, yo, like my line is always open to people, you know? Like, or whatever it is, you know, it's like excuse me. And my line is always open to people, man. Uh, and like I remember telling this one of the ladies I used to work with, I was like, yo, I was like, you need to stop putting the cart before the horse. And she was like, wait, what? And she's older than me too. I was like, yeah. I was like, you over here thinking about all this shit that, you know, that possibly could happen, this and this and that. And it's like, you're not even there yet. You know, I was like you're thinking, you know, 6 months down the road, and it's like, fuck. It's like, ma, it's only Monday. At least get through Monday first. You know, get through the day, you know, get through the hours, get through the weeks, and then get through the months, you know. And if shit is still sweet, or shit is still strong after that, then great. If it's not, then whatever. And the older I get, man, it's like, yo, I just, and that's a part of me being fluid, and I gotta thank Shorty for that, man. It's like even though we was beefing, and like, hey, y'all seen that one podcast where I just kind of buried my shit, you know? It was like facts, and that was facts, you know. And that's the one that I gotta thank her for, man, because it's like, yo, without her, without her saying what she said, or just being the friend that she was, you know, and she taught me valuable lessons too. You know what I mean? So it was like, and I taught her shit too. And it was like, yo, it was like at the end of the day, it's like, uh, I can't speak for her, man. But it's like, I don't want to speak for her. I don't. But I'm the type of nigga. I'm the type of friend that you gonna have. You know, whether I'm gonna hold your ass accountable. You know, because that's how I was raised. It's like that's how I was, brought up to to believe. It's like, yo, it's like, okay, like you saying everything else, everybody did this, everybody did, did that, but what did you do, or what didn't you do? And a lot of people, when you flip the script on them, they can't handle that. They don't know how to answer that. They don't know how to deal with that, because this entire time they were like, yo, what do you mean? What didn't I do? Like, what? Yeah, and so they get flustered, they get frustrated, because now they got to look at themselves in the mirror, and they don't like what they see, or they're chasing goals that's not really you know not really their passion, and I know people, believe it or not, who went and got their medical degrees. 6, 7 years, of doing rotations or doing, I don't know what the fuck they do. Whatever it is that they do to get to get a doctorate degree, to get an MD, and they hate it. They absolutely hate it. And I'm like, you spent 7 years doing something that you don't even want to do. Why? And then they go, well, I gotta make my parents proud. I'm like, and part of this comes from Asian culture. It's like me being Asian, I know exactly what the fuck they mean. And yeah, and a lot of times parents will influence you or pressure you into doing shit that so that they can brag about it. I'm like, no, it's like if being a doctor is not what you want to do, then fucking go do something. Go do what you love to do. You know what I mean? It's like not to make it about me, but it's like my passion is music, bro. And it's like I'm slowly working on my craft. I'm slowly getting everything together. But at the same time, it's like, bro, I'm not gonna sit around and have another motherfucker tell me what to do in my life. It's like, no, I ain't fucking doing that. And it's like, and that's why I come across as aggressive because it's like I appreciate it, but it's gonna go in one. It's gonna go in on my left ear, go on my right ear. You know, I'm I'm not gonna. It's not gonna take up space in my brain. It's like, so that's when I trip out with people. It's like, bro, like, why would you want to do something that's not even your passion for a career? And when you ask people what they want to do, 95% of the time, they know what they want to do, but they're too afraid to go after it. I'm like, bro, we all like, Nipsey Hussle once said, famously, he's like, he's like, we all talk about, life as something we can get out of it. He's like, but what you don't realize is like you got to put something in to get something out of it. So if you're doing something that's not your passion, if you're doing something that doesn't spark your fancy, if you're doing something that doesn't want to make you jump out of bed before your alarm and go chase it, then what the fuck are you doing? I mean, it's okay to have a job, to finance your dreams, because it's like, we all gotta have that 9 to 5. We all gotta deal with them Trishas at work too, you know. And at the end of the day, man, it's like, nigga, just go do what you want. Go do it. Go go do something, or go follow your passions that light your soul on fire, bro. You know, the three dudes behind me.